Now, talking about contraception or family planning, both are kind of interlinked. Contraception means family planning, and that means contraception, avoiding pregnancy. Before I go on, we don't have a data, so I collected from United States old data, year 2000. But it gives a message. In United States, in 2000, 1 million young girls became pregnant, and most of them unplanned pregnancies. And at least 60% were unplanned, and they delivered 500,000 unplanned babies. This is because they have a collection of data. But in Pakistan, we don't have data collection. But socially, I would imagine we, if not exactly the same, we must be closer to that. That in Pakistan also, half of the pregnancies are unwanted pregnancies, unplanned pregnancies. It's very important that a planned pregnancy is kind of welcome thing. People are looking for that pregnancy, that baby to come. When it is unplanned, it means the couple did not plan to have a baby. The wife did not plan to be pregnant, but it by accident during coitus it happened, and they are not necessarily welcome. Our baby is not welcome. So, and half of the pregnancies are like that all over the world. Second problem is not only unwanted pregnancy. During sexual intercourse, there is transmission of sexually transmitted diseases from one partner to the other partner. And that's not a small number. Those patients who suffer from sexually transmitted disease, STDs as it is called, they are huge. 333 million worldwide. That's WHO is telling us. All over the world, 333 million STDs were there. It means this is sex related. This is second problem. First was unwanted pregnancy, and second is transmission of disease from one partner to the other partner. That if we look at these two problems, there are methods now available by which you can avoid the such problems. Before we go on, Pakistan model, you know, it is a tragedy, I would say. It is a tragedy. In my impression is this. Today, Pakistan population is 220 million. We are increasing at the rate of more than 2%, whereas statistics for which government presents, they claim differently, less than 2. But generally speaking, we are increasing at more than 2%. More than 2% means every couple is replacing not only them, they're producing extra babies. They're adding to the population. If you look at it, at the independence 1947, we were only 40 million. And if you see, look at the present figure, 220 million. We have multiplied so much. In 1971, the population of the whole of Pakistan was such that then East Pakistan was greater in number than West Pakistan. Possibly ratio was 54 to 46. That East Pakistan was 54%, West Pakistan was 46%. But now, 71, East Pakistan became Bangladesh. From 71 to 2020, in 50 years, they are at their population is 150 million. And we are 220 million. They controlled their population. We did not. We still haven't managed. We are still not talking population regulation or control or what to do about it, or family planning, whatever the name they give it. Unfortunately, we are multiplying so rapidly. If you look at it, from 40 million to 220 million, we are still producing enough agriculture produce, wheat, rice to feed our 220 million. We are producing enough sugar, and we are providing to most of the population all the needs of nutrition and transport and everything. Imagine if we had not multiplied to this level, we were only half of that. From 40 million, if we had reached 110 million, we would have been a rich country, because our resource is enough to supply to part 220 million, but 110 million we would have spare agriculture produce, spare of everything which we could export, and we would be not that uh, deprived country as we are today. And this, our population is increasing more than all neighboring countries. But how sad that the population of Bangladesh, population of India, population of Nepal, Sri Lanka is a very different model. They match with the West. So all these countries, their population is not increasing as fast as our population. So we have to do something. We, as doctors, must promote contraception, because contraception would mean unwanted pregnancies are not there. And that will be great help in population control. Types of birth control or contraception which are available to everybody. First is natural. There are so many natural methods by which pregnancy can be avoided. And the other is barrier group, that we create a barrier between spermatozoa and ovum. They cannot meet, so fertilization cannot take place, pregnancy will not take place. Then the hormonal method. We give hormones, generally female hormones, to females, and ovulation is suppressed. So when ovulation does not take place, pregnancy cannot take place. And next method is we insert something into the uterine cavity, which interferes with implantation of the ovum, and pregnancy, even fertilized ovum, cannot implant itself, so pregnancy is avoided. And last of all, we block the passages for the ovum in female, for the sperm in male, by sterilization. In females, we tie the tubes or block the tubes. In males, we tie the vas deferens or block the vas deferens, so that spermatozoa cannot come out of epididymis. First of all, natural or biological method. Well, I have named only two or three, because others perhaps are not as popular or effective. First is rhythm method or calendar method. As a student of physiology, you must have learned menstrual cycle and ovulation. Menstrual cycle is regulated by ovarian hormones, and which are estrogens and progesterone. And ovarian function is controlled by pituitary by producing FSH and LH. And by these hormones, they initiate, I will not go into detail of the physiology of ovulation, but FSH, LH from pituitary, they stimulate ovaries to convert primordial follicle into the graphene follicle, which then again, middle of the menstrual cycle is influenced by LH, which produces ovum, and that ovum, if it travels through the fallopian tubes, there's a chance it will become fertilized if the sperm is not there. So In rhythm method, we know that once the ovum is released middle of the menstrual cycle, it survives only 24, 48 hours. Within 24 or 48 hours, the ovum has to be fertilized, otherwise ovum degenerates. So if the coitus is not there at the time of ovulation, then the ovum will not be fertilized. It will degenerate, and after it degenerates, rest of the cycle, there will be no risk of pregnancy. And uh, the second part, which you must know, is that spermatozoa, once planted inside the vagina, they can survive inside the uterine cavity or fallopian tubes up to 4 to 5 days. So after coitus, the spermatozoa are there for next 4 to 5 days to lead to fertilization. And if the coitus is avoided prior to ovulation for 4 or 5 days, then there will be no spermatozoa present at the time of ovulation. So, natural or biological methods, they depend on identifying time of ovulation and avoiding spermatozoa at that time being there. So, this is practically possible rhythm method only in those cases where the menstrual cycle is regular, 28 days. So before we advise anybody to practice this rhythm or calendar method, you have to ensure that, oh, I can be in the picture. How can it be? Well, the if we advise this method, you have to be sure that you know that woman knows that the day of ovulation in her menstrual cycle, and about a week before. Am I in the picture? I was I in the picture before? Yes. Okay. ये तो मैं उसी तरह कर Now, so if you advise in the method, one, we have to be sure that menstrual cycle is regular. Second, we have to work out the day of ovulation each month and then avoid coitus a week before ovulation and 4 or 5 days after ovulation. And eh, that way, if the patient is intelligent enough and husband is cooperative enough, generally speaking, the coitus can take place in a 28-day cycle, first 10 days, and then last 8 or 9 days. So practically half of if I take you this, the calendar method is shown in this diagram that the upper half shows those are the safe days, low risk, and the lower half shows the risk of pregnancy is there. But in this case, you have to have cooperation of the husband and that he is willing to avoid coitus during those days when they are risky days. Well, uh, other than calendar method, there are other ways of testing days of ovulation. Billing method was another natural method, but I will not go into details of that. Next is withdrawal method. That it is a very simple method that during coitus, ejaculation takes place at the height of the act, and if husband withdraws from the wife or from the partner uh, before ejaculation, it means semen or sperm will not be deposited in the vagina, so pregnancy will not be. This is the most popularly practiced method, withdrawal method. But unfortunately, withdrawal method has its own handicaps because at the peak of excitement, the husband may not withdraw or he withdraws too late. Then part of semen is planted in the vagina, so method becomes risky. So the failure rate in withdrawal method and rhythm method is very high. very high, nearly 25%. Last of all, if it can be practiced, abstinence, total abstinence, if the coitus doesn't take place, there will be no pregnancy. Now, in young partners living together, married, sex is a pleasurable act, so it's not cannot be prescribed to young people like that. I have told you about calendar method. Next is hormonal methods. Hormonal method basic principle is suppression of ovulation by giving exogenous hormones. We give hormones which suppress pituitary function. FSH and LH are not released, and because they are not released, ovary primordial follicle is not converted into Graafian follicle, and ovulation does not take place. And this is kind of exogenous hormones are given to the woman so that FSH, LH are suppressed and ovulation doesn't take place. Because these are the hormones, obviously they have some side effects as well. But the most popular method in the world is combined pill or OCP, oral contraceptive pill. It has two hormones in it, estrogens and progesterone. Initially, the dose of estrogen and progesterone were very high, but with experience, gradually the dose is reduced to the minimal micrograms of estrogen, 25 to 40, and progesterone only 1 or 2 milligram. So minimal dose. The advantage of this combination is that side effects are minimized. Side effects, and hormones can be given by injections once a month or 3 months, every 3 months, and implants which can be left. Implants having these hormones for these implants can be left over months or years. So the method of giving hormones is most popular is estrogen and progesterone, just progesterone, but only progesterone can be given, which is called mini pill. But generally speaking, it has more irregularity of the message because it's not close to nature. It doesn't have estrogen content. So mini pill contains only progesterone, but OCP has both. And there was one which is not a popular method of giving hormones, sequential method, in which in the first half estrogen only, in the second half estrogen and progesterone, half of the means menstrual cycle. So they were prescribed. But so mini pill only progesterone, sequential pill the first half estrogens and second half progesterone. But the most popular is oral contraceptive pill. And talking about oral contraceptive pill, most popular method, it is safe and effective when taken properly and regularly. If the pill is missed, then that month is not safe. So it's important that it is taken regularly and properly. And it is most effective, more than 99% success rate in this. The pictures below, they show various types of brands which are marketed in the dial form, in the tablets form, and all that. In all these, you will see different colors. Basically, the colorful tablets, they are the estrogen and progesterone tablets, and white tablets, they are placebo tablets, which means they don't have the hormones. Because the tablets are given for 21 days. Now, for 7 days, if they don't take anything, the cycle is complete. But uh, to maintain the habit of taking tablets every day, so placebo tablets, which generally are ferrous sulfate tablets, they are added to the pack So that patient takes every day, same time, one tablet to make sure that OCP works. I have told you how does it work. It enables ovulation by pituitary action, and in addition to that, there's some changes in the endometrium which does not allow implantation, and also cervical mucus is changed, which interferes with the ascent of spermatozoa after coitus. So these are three methods by which it works, but most important is inhibition of ovulation. Benefits of OCP are it prevents pregnancy, obviously, shortens menstruation period, that means bleeding is reduced, but cycle is regularized. Cycle is every 28 days, clockwork, and the long-term benefit is the variance cysts are small, cyst formation, functional cyst formation is not there. Initially, when OCP came into use, there was apprehension that it might cause breast cancer, it might cause local cancer, but long-term data with minimal dose proves it doesn't cause any of those. So these are the benefits that prevents pregnancy, shortens menstruation period, and regulates the period. Makes, as a matter of fact, therapeutic use of OCP is lot in gynecology. Every patient who gets irregular menstruation can be prescribed to regulate her cycle by OCP. Uh, it has certain side effects, especially during first 2 or 3 months. Nausea is most common in estrogen because of estrogen compound. So those who complain a lot about nausea, they can be given mini pill or the sequential pill. But generally speaking, the patient gets over nausea after a month or two. Breast tenderness, headaches. So any patient who has vertigo or migraine should not be given because it may precipitate her migraine attacks. Mood swings, and generally there's weight change in more positively. Gain is there. Sometimes there's breakthrough bleeding, middle of the cycle. They may be spotting. This is would upset your patient, and that's why the contraindications for giving this OCP to any patient who has got migraine, hypertension, and past history of DVT. So these patients should not be prescribed OCP. Taking the pill once a day, same time, every day, continuously. White tablets contain the hormone component, brown tablets are ferrous sulfate or placebo. If a patient misses the pill one day, next day she can take two. That can be condoned. But if she misses two or more than two pills, then that month does not remain safe. Important to tell your patient. If she misses more than one pill, one is okay, one may be, but two, definitely that month is not safe. Then she has to use additional method of contraception. Next is Depo-Provera, that is injection given every 3 months, and it has medroxyprogesterone in it, and success rate is very high, 99.7%. But its mechanism of action is same, ovulation suppression. It also causes thickness of cervical mucus, and unfortunately, with Depo-Provera, menstrual cycles become irregular. Maybe their periods of amenorrhea are irregular. If the patient is warned or counseled properly, then she doesn't mind. But if you have not counseled her properly, then she may come back to you with this complaint that her cycle is irregular and she is upset about it. So this is the side effect of Depo-Provera. Then side effects, extremely irregular menses or amenorrhea, and other side effects are weight change, breast tenderness, and mood changes. which are with OCP as well. But the benefit is patient does not have to remember taking one pill every day. She gets one injection every 3 months and it works. So those patients who are not compliant with regularly taking OCP, they can be given injectables or Depot. Depot injection has to be given every 3 months. Even for longer term, when a patient has plans for months or years that she doesn't want pregnancy, then implants. These are small tablets which has a hormone content, and these implants they release the hormone very slowly. These implants are put inserted under the skin, usually upper forearm, and they are uh, physically insulted when the patient says, maybe after a year or two, she doesn't want to practice contraception, they can be removed. And these are hormones in plastic tablet kind of thing. And they're very successful. So implants are very useful. They for long term, not every 3 months, long term, for 6 months, year, 2 years, 3 years. But they cause irregular periods as well, and it, but they can be removed easily because plastic is visible and physically visible and can be. There are two kinds of implants. Norplant 1, in that 6 capsules were deposited and good for 5 years. Norplant 2, the 2 capsules are deposited, but the duration of its action is shortened to 3 years. Indications for Norplant would be non-compliant patient with the pill. She doesn't take regularly, so the pill fails. And those who consider the family planning for years, for them this is more effective and makes menstrual cycle irregular. But as long as you explained, patient can be tolerant of this problem. There's another use of OCP, emergency contraception. In case the couple has unprotected sex and the fear the sex was at the time of or near the time of ovulation, risk of pregnancy is there, then emergency contraception is then within 72 hours, the patient can take 2 OCP in the morning, 2 OCP after 12 hours, same day, and that would provide protection up to 75%, provided this is taken within 72 hours. And uh, other, other than OCP, there are some other preparations as well which can be given. Advantage is when 2 in the morning, 2 in the evening, OCP, they usually cause nausea. And if you prescribe the other preparation, not getting the name of it at the moment, then uh, there's no nausea, but it also works. But mind you, success rate is 75%, not 100%. And uh, so you have to warn the patient that there's 75% chances of success of this emergency contraception. Then, other than hormones, there are barrier methods. Most commonly practiced male condom or female condom. Uh, that means husband wears a sheath over his penis before the coitus, or female inserts the sheath inside the vagina before the coitus. The other methods, other than barrier, spermicides, foam, gel, tablets could be inserted into the vagina, which would kill the spermatozoa in the vagina. And then again, barrier can be created in old times, maybe some women still practice, a diaphragm could be inserted, which would block the access of spermatozoa up to the cervix and our cervical cap. But these are not so popular, but male condom or female condoms are most popular method. They prevent pregnancy by blocking. the union of the sperm with the ovum, and they have high, unfortunately, they have a higher failure rate than hormonal methods. So anybody who wants to be sure that there is no pregnancy, they should practice hormonal methods rather than barrier methods. These are various preparations which are chemicals inserted into the vagina. And they change the pH of the vagina and cause spermicides or kill the spermatozoa. Condom, most common and effective barrier method when used properly. Mind you, this is the only contraceptive method which also helps the patient from transfer of STD from one partner to other partner. So if there's fear of STD, then condom, male or female, they are preferred because they will not allow infective organism to ascend into the uterine cavity, or in case of male, enter the urethra and cause urethritis. And these condoms are made of latex or polyurethane, and they prevent STD. Most common use is male condom, but female condom is also becoming popular. And I told you that if the success rate of condom is not same as oral contraceptive pill. Effectiveness is only 88%, and they are made of latex or polyurethane. The difficulty is either at the height of excitement, the couple does not use because it has to be used right at the time of coitus, and or they to make it more effective, they can use spermicide, those foam gel, and also this. This will improve the success rate. But sometimes the condom may rupture, and that inadvertently will fail the method. Female method, same, made of urethane and uh, physically inserted into the vagina. Here, because women have control over it, so it's more likely that at the height of excitement, it will not be missed, it will be used. Next method is intrauterine contraceptive device, IUCD or IUD. Uh, in this case, we previously there were a lot of IUCDs, Lippis loop and others, but these days there's only one IUD which is popular, that is copper T. It is called copper T because it has copper component over its uh, T, and because of the presence of copper, there's chemical change in the uterine cavity, so it is more successful. And the copper T is T-shaped, placed in the uterine cavity. It prevents pregnancy. Insertion usually takes place immediately after menstruation because then cervix is dilated. It doesn't cause any pain, and it is as effective, not as effective as hormones, but as effective as condom or anything, and more than 97% success rate. Uh, Usually, the failure is either unnoticed expulsion or misplacement of the coil. If it remains in place, it can be there for years, 4 years, 5 years, and then it is very effective. Even 10 years it can be. And it's effective 99% too. And copper on IUD acts as spermicide. And the patient must be told that after, because maximum risk of spontaneous expulsion is during menstruation. So after menstruation, she must check with her finger presence of thread in the tip of the cervix. It means the IUD is in place. Recently, the same IUD, postpartum IUD, is introduced because you can insert this it has long thread. It insert this into the uterine cavity immediately after delivery of the baby and placenta. So that's a postpartum. It is as successful as interval IUD insertion. So this has become, because that at the time of delivery, patients are most willing to have some method of contraception. So it is becoming popular with most of the patients. I told you cervical cap and sponges, they are there, but not so popular. Cervical cap, you put a cap at the cervix, a mechanical method, and sponge or foam, they change the pH of the vagina, but they, in combination with condom, they are popular, otherwise not. Last of all, if anybody has completed a family and she doesn't want any children anymore, then we talk about sterilization or permanent method. Here, in the case of female, we block the fallopian tubes. In case of male, we block the vas deferens, or in female, we call tubal ligation. In male, we call vasectomy. And mind you, this is a permanent method, so it should be done only those cases where the family is complete and they don't want forever to become pregnant. Because once the tubes are tied or vas is, then the reversal of this, which is sometimes asked for, because one of the children died or accident happened or divorce happened, new marriage, all these things, the reversal is very difficult. It doesn't have good success rate. So that's why before the patient, male or female, generally most popular this method is with the females, and that too is carried out by laparoscopic sterilization. Through the laparoscope, we tie the tubes or put a ring around the tubes or burn the tubes or cut the tubes. And any of these, basically, basic method was Pomeroy, and method in which a loop was picked up and tie was put at its base. But generally, all these methods, whether you tie them, you cut the tubes, you burn them, they have nearly 100% success rate. I told you the reversal will be difficult, which will be done surgically, either through the laparoscope or conventional surgery. Vasectomy, generally men are not willing to have it done. But I say this is a much simpler method of tying the tube, vas deferens, as compared to female. There it is intraperitoneal procedure. Here it is just at the groins. You pick up the vas, no scalpel technique. You don't even use scalpel. Just pick up through that needle and identify it and cut it and put it back without really making any cut or use of scalpel. Is, mind you, when you do vasectomy, tell the patient to have repeated semen tests, which may take 2 or 3 months to become azoospermia. Until unless, because you've done vasectomy today, the spermatozoa which are in the epididymis or vas deferens, they will come out and cause pregnancy. So in female, immediately after tubal ligation, method is effective. But in male, you have to wait for 2 or 3 months before you can tell the husband that the method is effective. I have already talked about withdrawal method, that at the height of the coitus, before ejaculation, husband can withdraw, but it has got its own disadvantage. Natural methods are successful, but only 75%. There is no 100% successful method in natural methods. Last of all, I told you, unfortunately, Pakistan population is growing rapidly. We are doubling. By year 2040, we will be again double. Imagine, 22 crore, we will become more than 40 crore. How are we going to feed them, provide them with the jobs, education, housing, everything? So you are the young generation who should promote family planning in your family, in your neighborhood, in your village, amongst your relatives, and support the government. Unfortunately, government doesn't have sufficient funds to go all out for this. But as responsible citizens, we have to promote family planning. Otherwise, I put a few MCQs with the answers and SEQs. I hope they are useful to you. Thank you very much. Don't forget to give me feedback. Nobody has given me feedback to date. Either you like it or you just don't like it. Please say something about it so that I change my method of delivering this talk or bring more information into it or whatever. But until unless you suggest, I'll continue in this fashion. I'm not too sure whether it's popular with you or not. Thanks once again. कितने थे